Hola, we're actually going to talk here for a few minutes about 10 pieces of bad advice that I've seen experts give solopreneurs to get new clients. All right. Mostly on LinkedIn. And the thing is, if you are looking for clients, you know that building a client based business as a solopreneurs, it's hard enough, like without being steered in the wrong direction along the way. And that's why it really frustrates me when I see experts feeding solopreneurs advice that I know doesn't work. I know it because I've done it. I've made the same mistakes and it may be good business for some of the experts, but it doesn't work. And that's really frustrating because it sets solopreneurs back weeks, months, sometimes years, and it leads to a lot of lost opportunities. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 10 tips that I've seen solopreneurs get from experts here on LinkedIn. And these are ones that you just be better off ignoring. Okay. So the first one is post content every day and clients are just going to show up. And here's the thing, like consistently posting content has helped me build my business, but posting every day, it can be as much of a time suck as it can be a catalyst for growth for your business. All right. And if you want to see results from the content that you're posting, we need to clarify these things first. One, exactly who you are writing for. Two, the problems that you solve for them. Three, the pains that those problems are causing them. And then four, the mistakes that they are the mistakes that they are making trying to solve these problems on their own. Okay. When you know those four things, when you know who you're writing for, when you know the problem that you solve, the pains that they cause, the mistakes that they're making trying to solve it on their own, what you have a deliberate strategy for investing all the time that goes into creating the content. And then you'll have a real plan for actually harvesting the engagement that you get, starting some discussions and turning like the views and the likes into dollars and cents. Okay. So that's the first one. The second tip that I've seen is start with small clients just to get some logos and low rates and then work your way up. And I see this shared with people that are relatively new to consulting or coaching or fractional work, whatever it is, any client based business. And the source of that advice, frankly, is it's imposter syndrome or it's bad marketing. All right. When you're getting started, like it's really easy to let the systems distract us and the tech stack and all the things that we've got to set up. And, like go try to get your CRM completely set up before you have any leads to go in there, or go like work on branding guides and shit like that before you have any traffic to your website. Working on getting your project planning software, like all buttoned up before you have a client or a project. I've been guilty of it. And it's what I call right thing, wrong time. All right. Like early on, you don't know what works and you don't know what doesn't. So you need to try different things. You need to learn what works and then figure out how to scale it and systematize it. And it's when you're investing in scale and systems at the wrong time, it doesn't just cost you time and money right now. It actually makes it harder to adapt later when you have a lot of the learning under your belt because you've got this big foundation and systematized thing built. So I would aim for speed, simplicity, and flexibility in your systems. When it comes to marketing, it's why I call it speedboat marketing. Like you're looking for fast, flexible, agile, and much better route than trying to fully systematize everything from on the front end. Okay, so that's the second tip. The third one that you could probably ignore is it's really important to get all these scalable systems in place when you're getting started. And when you're getting started, like it's really easy to let the systems distract us and the tech stack and all the things that we've got to set up, and go try to get your CRM completely set up before you have any leads to go in there, or go like work on branding guides and shit like that before you have any traffic to your website, working on getting your project planning software like all buttoned up before you have a client or a project. I've been guilty of it. And it's what I call right thing, wrong time. All right. Early on, you don't know what works and you don't know what doesn't. So you need to try different things. You need to learn what works and then figure out how to scale it and systematize it. And it's when you're investing in scale and systems at the wrong time, it doesn't just cost you time and money right now. It actually makes it harder to adapt later when you have a lot of the learning under your belt because you've got this big foundation and systematized thing built. So I would aim for speed, simplicity, and flexibility in your systems. When it comes to marketing, it's why I call it speedboat marketing. Like you're looking for fast, flexible, agile, and much better route than trying to fully systematize everything from on the front end. Okay. The fourth piece of advice that I would encourage you to ignore is cast a really wide net and let the market dictate what works, like where to go for clients. And product market fit is really important. But when you are the product, it's not where you start. Before you go find out what the market wants and what the market needs, you've got to get really crystal clear about what you're building and why. Like there's a big difference between building a $500,000 a year lifestyle business and $100 million a year rocket ship. You're going to take different steps to reach those destinations, right? And if your goal is to earn a few $100,000 a year and have a lot of time to enjoy with your family or the beach, you're going to take different paths than you would if you eventually want to buy your own social media platform, right? What's up, Elon? That's why I coach like my solopreneur clients to get really clear about their personal vision and then clarify a vision for the business that is aligned with that personal vision. It's what I call vision founder fit. And if you skip this, like it's very possible. Don't be surprised if you end up in a profitable but intolerable business in a couple of years. That's why a lot of agency owners sell, not because they get these great multiples, because they can't stand running the business that they have. Okay, so that's the fourth one. The fifth piece of advice that you can ignore is that you need really professional looking and marketing material for credibility. One of the first things that solopreneurs do, I did this when they're setting out on their own, is to set up this really professional looking website. And most of the time we're doing that before we've clarified who we're designing it for, the problems that we solve, the pains that those problems are causing, and the mistakes that people are trying to make solving those things on their own. It's the same list as above, right? And because to write effective social media content, like in the first point, or really good website copy or a landing page or an ebook, you need those four elements. And the reason's really simple. Pretty websites don't turn prospects into clients. Copy does. Great messaging does. Great positioning does. The pictures may help, but the copy and the message has to resonate. And I'm telling you, I've seen many $1 million businesses that have been built on a landing page or an ugly ass website. But the message resonated, and that's what matters most. So you don't need a big fancy website. You need a clear market to speak to and a message that actually resonates. All right. The sixth one is your knowledge and your experience is what's going to get you hired. And a lot of my solopreneur clients are executive freelancers, and they're doing fractional work, consulting, and leveraging their expertise to generate more income with more flexibility. And they're often frequently, they make the same mistakes that I did when I was getting started doing the same thing, thinking that our knowledge and our experience, our expertise are what's going to win us clients. And domain expertise is helpful. Like you've got to be able to do the work, duh. But as like Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, knowledge is only potential power. Like what wins you clients is your marketing. And my friend and really what one of the best marketers that I know, Robin Robbins, she owns, Technology Marketing Toolkit. And she often says, no one knows how good you are until they hire you. So until then, you are only as good as your marketing in their eyes. Okay. So no matter how smart you are, no matter how many credentials you have, no matter how many letters you have after your name, you need to market yourself effectively to win good clients. And that means having a really firm understanding of how to position yourself and how to package your services. And then you let your expertise shine. Okay. Number 7, that sales calls have to be different for every prospect. And a lot of solopreneurs, like the idea of using a script to run sales calls sounds crazy. Like we don't want to read from a script. Then I hear like, well, every prospect I talk to has, they have different needs and they have different problems. So every call is going to be different. And like typically what I say is if the needs of your prospects are so wildly different from call to call that you can't create a framework to run those calls consistently, then you're casting way too wide a net in your strategy and your marketing. Like you're trying to boil the ocean. And another thing that I hear is, okay, when I'm reading a script, like, it sounds like I'm reading and it's really constricted. I don't like that. And here's like amateurs wing shit. Professionals don't. Like great sales pros, just like great actors, everyone else, they don't wing it. Like you may not be able to script a consultative or a diagnostic sales call word for word, but a good talk track, a good framework it's constricted by nature. It's constricted by design because it keeps you from rambling. It keeps you from wandering off course. It keeps you from, or any other bad habits that you may have, like creeping into your call. So it's constricted by design, and having a good, consistent process lets you like really quickly get good at delivering it because you're doing something consistently. And if every call is different, it's gonna feel and it's gonna sound like it's the first time every time. And that's not how you're gonna establish the authority and the credibility that you need to win the trust and sell good clients. Okay. I do have in the link below or in the comments below, I'll put a link to a playbook that I have. It's the same sales playbook that I've used with my fractional clients that pay $15,000, $30,000 a month. Same process. I'll drop the playbook in there. Feel free to grab that. Okay. The 8th one is you've got to charge a high hourly rate. And why on earth would Ray not recommend high hourly rates? And it's because if you've followed much of my content, you know that I think charging hourly is a lose-lose situation for everybody. It's a lose for you. It's a lose for your clients. And here's a few examples why. Clients typically want good work, but they prefer it be done faster, right? Like nobody asks for slower work, or not typically. But the faster you do work when you're charging hourly, the less money you make. Okay. That's a lose-lose. And the more that you know, so the more experience that you have, the more knowledge that you have, the more quickly you can solve a problem. And the more quickly you can solve a problem with hourly rates, again, the less you make. And another example is when like the client is like when they're on the hook, be regardless of whether you deliver results or not with hourly billing. And it's a lose for them. There's less risk for clients in paying for results or paying for solutions than there is time. Okay. So when clients insist on hourly, to me, that is typically, it's a red flag that success isn't clearly defined. Okay. Like the outcome and what they really want has not been defined clearly enough. And that's not a good place to start your work. You're a professional that's accumulated years of knowledge, years of experience and expertise and education, whatever it is, to do what you do today. How long it takes you to apply that knowledge is irrelevant. and the hourly deal just creates all kinds of misalignments. Okay, last two here. 9 is more customized work is more valuable. And this is a common like misperception that people have when they're getting started. They feel like that customized delivery of the service actually makes it more valuable. And I like some of my friends, they think like that idea is rooted in the idea that clients want to be treated as special and unique. And if you subscribe to that, like I would say, like consider walking into your doctor's office and you've got a problem, and you say, all right, okay, here's the problem, doc. What would you rather hear? Would you rather hear your doc say, hmm, okay, well, yeah, that's unique. Let's dive in and let's really get into this and figure it out. Or would you rather hear them say, yeah, I got this. I've seen this a million times. Here, take this pill, do this thing. You'll be fine in 7 days. Right? I'm not suggesting that every problem that you solve is going to be that easy. Like take a pill, follow a regimen. What I am suggesting is that the perception of customized work is usually wrong. Clients want to know that you can solve their problem. And more often than not, when you show that you have a process to do that, it actually elevates your status relative to your competitors. It doesn't knock it down. Okay. Last one, 10. You have to learn things on your own because that's part of the process, right? Solopreneuring is unique, right? And you're a strategic CEO, you're a copywriter, you're a funnel builder, you're a salesperson, you're a service provider, you're head of customer success. And sure, like you can learn all of that on your own. And at least for the people that I work with, chances are you will. Like you're probably smart enough that you will eventually figure it out on your own. But why? Like it's like chopping down a palm tree with a butter knife when you know that I'm looking at a palm tree. That when you know that someone's got a chainsaw right over here, right? And people recommend this because they aren't aware of the principles and the systems that lead to consistently getting great clients. And because they're unaware of it and what those principles and what those systems are, they think that they don't exist, right? Going it alone, it leads to more mistakes, leads to more missteps, more setbacks. It's more costly, costs you time, costs you money. I know this because I did it. And when I finally found and then invested in resources to help me out, my only regret was not doing it sooner. Cool. All right. That is 10. That's longer than 10 minutes today, but it is 10 on the list. So that's the 10 tactics, 10 pieces of advice that you could ignore from some of the experts that you may get on LinkedIn. Drop any questions that you have in the comments. Adios. Thanks for watching. I really hope you got some value out of this. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button for me and subscribe to the channel for more of our content. And if you want to find out a little bit more about me and how we can help you build your business and grow sales, feel free to check out rayjgreen.com, RAY letters J, GREEN.com. Thanks again.